Starting with the automatic parking, once you reach the parking lot, press the parking mode button, and that will bring up the parking cameras and the overhead view and the options on the side. So make sure the box is checked for the automatic parking on the very top, and then cruise slowly along the parking spaces, and the car will scan for an open parking space next to a car that's already parked. And that's key because I think the car is scanning for a car that's parked already and not the paint lines on the pavement. So I think it uses the car as an anchor point and a guideline to automatically park by itself. Once it finds the first open space, it shows that P icon and you press it and it will turn the blinkers on automatically and it will start parking automatically. So here I've taken my foot off the brake and it's steering by itself, and you can tell that by the green light on the steering wheel. So it will shift into forward gear and reverse gear as needed to come in close to the next vehicle. And if there's a vehicle on each side of the open parking space, it will park exactly in the middle between those two vehicles. And then once it's done, it will straighten out the wheel, shut off the blinker, and automatically engage the parking brake. And once it's done, it'll show a little icon of what it would look like with the doors open. So it can show you exactly how much space is between the next car and if you'll hit the car by opening your door. Here's what it would look from the outside. So the car has just recognized its first open parking space, and I've pressed the P icon, and now it will take over the steering and the gear shifting automatically. And I just have my foot lightly on the brake. It's a little bit scary doing this for the first time, but I've never had it come close to hitting anything or bumping on anything. Now demonstrating the backup assistant. Again, once you're in the parking lot and ready to go, press the parking mode on the center console and it will bring up that parking camera screen again and the options on the right side. This time make sure the backup assistant box is checked and it will switch to that mode. And then once you're ready, I'm going to simulate doing a parallel parking on the side there, and I'm going to do this manually. So I'm in full control of the vehicle and I'm pulling in as if I'm doing a parallel parking. Here it is from the outside. Now you can use the backup assistant to back yourself out of a parking space like I'll be doing shortly, but you can also use it to uh, back up after you've driven into a long winding driveway or a long constricted path where there's no room to turn around. You can use the backup assistant to automatically reverse yourself and it will retrace the exact pathway that you went into. So the engine is off and we'll just say it's the next day or a couple days later, and I'll restart the engine and press the parking mode button on the console, and again it will bring up the parking cameras and the options on the right. Again, make sure the backup assistant box is checked and it will tell you to engage reverse gear and to take your foot off the brake and observe surroundings. So now when I take my foot off the brake, it will start steering itself and backing up along the exact same pathway that I used to go into the parking space until it reaches the point where I initially pressed that parking mode button, and it will alert you when it reaches that point by turning red on the steering wheel. And at this point, you have to press the brake yourself or it will keep going. It's important to note you can't use the backup assistant and the automatic parking on the same occasion. So you can't use it to automatically park for you and get out of you from that same space. You have to choose one or the other. Here's a couple other features with the personal assistant. So I'm in the personal assistant settings, and you can change the voice control to change the wake word to any word you want. I believe at default it's set to Hey BMW, but I changed my wake word to computer, so it will listen for my voice command after it hears that word. So for instance, I can say, computer, activate sports mode. And another feature, you can automate a couple things. So under automate habit and create rule, there's two things you can do. You can set the seat heating to turn on at a certain temperature. So I'm setting it to turn on automatically if the outside temperature is 40 degrees or below. And you can set the intensity of the heat seating to mild, medium, or high. Another feature you can automate is you can have the driver's side window open automatically once you reach a specific geographical set point. So I'm going to set it to open automatically once I reach a mailbox. Now I'm at the point where I want the window to be activated automatically, so I hit Add Activation Point, and here the window is opening by itself. So here I'm going to drive up slowly to that activation point that I set, and hopefully the window should open up right as I reach that exact activation point. And actually the window starts to open slightly before I reach that point. So that's my demonstration of the parking assistance package. You should note it's not available on all the X3 models. As of now, I think it's only available on the X3 m40i and not available on the X3 30i. And the cost is $700, but I think it's fun and I think it's worth it over the life of the vehicle. Let me know in the comments what other features you'd like to see, and thanks for watching.